Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
It's just a cough.
Yeah, right. And the Earth is flat.
Treat your cough seriously with Robitussin CF Max. Nothing lasts longer and treats more symptoms for your cough, cold, and flu. Robitussin, because it's never just a cough.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It will be the result of your subconscious fears transformed to your conscious awareness. Warning, this tape must not be played by government personnel. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's good to see you. I must go. I know I'm a good.
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat.
Lexi, tell us something interesting.
Okay, the Earth is flat, and a witch stole his pants.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's foolproof.
I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it.
Holy
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
Und jetzt der Verkehr. Vorsicht, liebe Autofahrer, auf der A3 Oberhausen Richtung Arnheim ist die linke Spur aufgrund eines UFO-Absturzes gesperrt.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship, currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery is in shock and awe over the latest briefings from Washington, D.C. We have successfully shot down 4, count them, 4 aerial objects, only one being confirmed as a Chinese spy satelloon. So with all out great technology on our end, we have no idea what the other 3 we shot down were. Yeah, he's calling BS on that. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure, thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, this show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and yes, Carolina, if it is not look at date so you don't look like an idiot. Feb. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. 2023. You are. I don't care because I'm single. Oh God, I hate my life. Then you are listening to a rerun. Quote of the day goes exactly like this one thing. Most of the public takes mainstream at face value. They are blind to the world around them. You are not. If you are listening to this show right now, then you are resistant to the lights, the colors, and the narrative. Who said that? I did. I came up with that. My co-host, she's lovely, she's sassy, and she's one of the biggest flat earth rock stars ever. It's Karen B. Hey, Karen, what's going on?
Hey, Mark. How's it going?
You know, your purplish shirt matches the purple light that's glancing off the top of your hair.
Oh.
Very nice.
My flat earth light.
Yes, I don't know if you did that deliberately. And what's your shirt say?
It says freemantv.com.
Nice. Who sent it to you?
Nope. Nobody sent it to me.
Oh,
Freeman gave it to me at my event. Freeman Fly. Shout out to Freeman Fly.
Well, shout out to Freeman Fly then. Hey, Karen. Being the current queen of flat earth, it must be hard to find flat earth friends. That's not true in any way, by the way. Do you know an easy way to find cool people like yourself and solid info about our stationary, horizontal, level plane?
Why, yes. That would be the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app.
Sure enough, it's the perfect gift for friends, family, and complete strangers. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. I'm Dave Weiss, and I approve this message. Don't forget, you can also find this program on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin, and Rumble. He's still in Mexico. He can't touch me. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth. It is just the beginning. Watch him call.
He might.
If he's not too drunk.
Yeah.
In Mexico. Must be rough. Shout out to Flat Earther Stefan Carpenter of the Deftones. Support the Flat Earth cause and get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to the strong.family, won't you? Pick up some merch. Meetups. There are 2 on my channel. I'm going to mention them real quick. There's one coming up this weekend. It's going to be in Minnesota at Mad Jack's Restaurant in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. If you, it's Saturday the 18th at 6 p.m. until whenever. If you guys want to go, email David M. Rife, that's M as in Mark, R-I-F-E, at gmail.com. Or you could just go to my channel and look it up. Also, if you hadn't noticed, there's going to be a meetup next month in Southern California, by the big LA team that usually cranks out, 100 people for a meetup.
Yes.
Do you know who's going to that one?
I know that's being put on by Renee. He emailed me. I have that up on my website as well.
And Renee got me plane tickets. And so
really?
I'm going to be flying down to the Southern California meetup. It's going to be on Sunset Beach. I will be announcing it every week until then. It's going to be March 18th. I'll be flying in on the 17th and leaving on the 19th. And he's going to be picking me, he or somebody's going to be picking me up at Orange County Airport. And yeah, I'm going to go.
Right on.
Yeah.
How fun.
It'd be a good time.
Yeah. Excellent.
So thank you to Renee a whole bunch for saying, he's been asking me, as you know, I try to be a man of my word. So when I said, I will try to go this next one, I swear I will make the effort. And he did. I said, here's what the tickets. Here's what I need. He's like, yeah, totally. Let's do it. It's like, great. Good.
Awesome.
Yeah. The trailer for that, by the way, is on my channel. So by all means, check it out if you get the chance. You'll notice that I am on the thumbnail, just to remind people that yes, I get that question quite a bit. It's like, are you going to this meetup? Are you going to this? No, it's like, no, unless somebody flies me out to the meetup, generally I don't go to the meetups. If I'm going to go, you will know, because it's kind of going to be kind of a big deal because I got to do a whole thing to do it. All right, let's get to...
Well, there's one more meetup I want to talk about before we move on.
I don't think so.
There's a meetup in Spartanburg.
Oh, is there?
Carolina. Yes,
Really?
with the South Carolina Flat Earth crew, which is my crew, and I will be at this meetup.
Well,
this one will be Flat Earth meetup at Drayton Mills Marketplace, and this one is what day is it, Sarah?
Obviously, the one I'm going to is much better organized.
I think it's this weekend too. No, it's March something. Sarah, what is the date? She'll have to send that to me. All right, never mind. I'll talk about it later.
Okay, no worries. When you find out, let us know. So Karen's doing a meetup. I'm doing a meetup. We're all doing meetups. Let's get to the headlines. And
March
boy,
12th. Thank you, Sarah.
March 12th.
Yes.
Oh, good. Week before mine. So nice. When you get back, you can tell me about yours, and then I fly out the next week, and I'll tell you about mine when I get back. Provided one of the planes doesn't have something weird happen to it, because there's been a lot of plane stuff, which we're not going to really be talking about tonight. So there's a map I want to pull up on the screen real fast. We'll get the obvious headlines out of the way first, but there's other things. There's so much stuff happening.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. I know that this show should be fun. I feel like the show's going to be fun because there's so much going on.
There is. So in 1 week's time, the first map, this is from Fox News. The title of this one was "Object Shot Down Over Lake Huron." In case you missed it or you wanted to keep track, we're keeping the score for you. So as you know, February 4th, there was the Chinese, supposedly the Chinese spy balloon was shot down over Karen's house. Then Friday, a second object was shot down over North Alaska. Saturday, a third object was shot down over the Yukon, which is the Canadian province that borders Alaska. Also Saturday, a radar anomaly was detected in Montana, the same sort of place where the Karen's balloon was shot down for where it was first located. And then Sunday, an object was shot down over Lake Huron, if I'm not mistaken. It was Sunday or Monday? Sunday or Monday? Nod for me, Peanut. Well, one of those days. So yeah, and here's the thing: as Peanut Gallery mentions in the quote, they're not saying what the other objects were. In fact, they're being real coy about it. They're almost leading the truthers down the path. You know where we're going to go, Karen.
Yes.
The truther community is eventually, if you don't tell us what it is in a good enough time frame, eventually we are going to keep jumping and jumping and jumping until we finally, everyone's going to say aliens. That's where everyone's going, well, it's got to be aliens. That's the only reason they're not saying. To be fair, if you did shoot down something, and this is different, this isn't like shooting something next to Karen's house where there was lots of witnesses over Myrtle Beach just watching the whole thing happen, right? Planes flying by. There were no witnesses to any of these other things. So maybe you shot something down, maybe you didn't. Remember what I said last week? The greatest thing for us, the benefit for the United States, because we tricked the Chinese into admitting this to the press, is that afterwards you could do anything you want, and as your backup, as your fallback, you can always blame the Chinese. You're not going to be blaming the Russians probably anytime soon, but again, leading the truther community down the path of aliens. Even Tucker got in on it a little bit, which is conflicting reports. Was there? Well, let's get into it a little bit. So the next, well, you know what? Before we even get into that one, oh god, let's pop up the second map. Let's not gloss over this, which is train incidents recently. Now, this map shows spaceships over Lake Huron and Alaska and over Karen's house, but there's also train incidents. There wasn't just one derailment recently. There were 4. The biggest, not even on this map. The biggest one is up in Ohio. And that one is getting a huge amount of attention recently because when train derailments happen all the time, right? Trains tip over all the time. But it is unusual when toxic chemicals are there that they decide to go in and deliberately set fire to them because the cleanup would be a nightmare. So rather than go after the chemicals manually, we're going to detonate them and let the tankers explode and evacuate the town around it. And
that's not what they said. They said that they cut holes in the tankers and drained out the chemicals and set it on fire to prevent the tankers from exploding and to prevent the shrapnel from tankers exploding going miles out.
See, I'm hearing conflicting reports on this. I'm hearing that the fires were set. Well, again, that could be our community.
Either way, they did light it on fire on purpose.
There you go. There you go. They lit on fire, and the smoke plumes have been spectacular for the for photographers. I mean, it is creepy looking.
Yeah, it looks gross.
Yeah, it's not good. Also, if you believe in coincidences, there's a movie which a lot of people haven't seen. It's been on streaming. I happen to watch it, called White Noise, with a pretty decent cast. And if you look it up on Wikipedia, White Noise happens to be about a train derailment in Ohio that caught fire, and the cloud went over the town, and the whole town had to evacuate. And it was about this Jewish family that had to run for their lives. And it was set as sort of a dark comedy. Again, it was a weird, I know the director, Academy Award nominee, but it was bizarre. But I just watched it fairly recently, and it was shot in Ohio. It wasn't like shot in a Hollywood studio. It was actually shot in Ohio. So it's like,
I read an article that said that some of the people that live in this town were extras in that movie.
Yeah.
Like it's the same town.
So it's like, okay, I don't know what to make of that, because why would you stage why would you do a rehearsal for the I suppose you could do a rehearsal for the town to evacuate them and then blow up a train later, or set fire to a train later. But there have been a number of train derailments, 4 on this map alone, and I don't know what to make of it. Do I think it's a massive, is it going to be a massive ecological issue? Yes. Is that ecological issue worth it to set up spy satellite stuff? And I don't, do I think that they're doing spy satellite stuff and unidentified objects being shot down as a cover for that? No, because people are still paying attention to that, especially if you're in that area. You can't avoid it. It's this giant, huge black cloud of toxic smoke that's getting into the water and the ground and all this stuff. Do I think the two are related? Maybe. Part of me thinks, part of this, I think, is, for me, my opinion, is ninjas on the other side. Because remember, we're messing with other countries, and don't think for a second that we're completely invulnerable to it. So why wouldn't they mess with us? And some of the easiest things to go after would be trains, power plants. Haven't done anything with ships really yet. But anyway, let's get to the official headlines, shall we? All right. So the first one down on the list, this one's from Fox News. Yeah, some of this is going to be recap. U.S. military shoots down object flying in territorial waters over Alaska. Pentagon says, oh, look, we scramble another F-22. They must be really pushing the F-22 recently, because that's what took off outside of your neck of the woods. That nobody's going to use F-16s anymore, or A-10s or anything. No, F-22. That's what we're
gotta use them for something. Isn't that the one they made and then nobody ever used it?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
And it was made obsolete by the F-35. Like they started making the F-35 for everything.
I'm not a big fan of the F-35, but that's another discussion for another time. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm old school. It's like, what works. Just because it's newer doesn't mean it's better. So this one was supposedly at 40,000 feet, but they're not going to say what it was. They just say it was an object. Oh, Peanut says they used an F-16 on the last one. Oh, good. At least they're spreading it around a little bit. The object landed in frozen waters, and the fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command took down the object within the last hour. That was, a story from a few days ago. All right, so moving on. Next one down. Next one down. This is from CNN Politics. U.S. officials disclose new details about the so-called Chinese balloon's capabilities. Here's what we know. And they really don't get into it too much, other than they say, oh, it had lots of surveillance things on it. And it had some American parts. The what?
It says it could monitor U.S. communications.
Yeah. And all right, the People's Republic of China used these blue. We knew that they used them for surveillance. High resolution imagery from U2 flybys. By the way, it's nice that you admit that you're still using those from time to time. U2s have been around for a long time. See, I like the old school stuff that works. Still waiting for the payload, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they can, again, because the Chinese admitted what they did, they can stretch this out and make up any story they wanted on this. And this is going to continue. They are going to pin so much on the Chinese before this is over. Okay, next one down. Also for Fox News, love this one. China spokeswoman denies knowing about fleet of spy balloons, labels U.S. as the #1 in spying. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs claimed that a fleet of balloons on multiple continents is U.S. disinformation warfare. China says that the United States is lying, and that basically China's saying, why are you poking at us? You guys are the one that practically invented the entire modernized spy system. So what are you picking on us for? And it's like, well, because you're dumb enough to admit it. The first one. So now we can say, well, we'll get to that part. We can say, we can deny anything we want because you don't have anything on camera. You don't have fighters shooting our stuff down. Do we have stuff? Of course we have stuff. Where do you think the Chinese got the idea? It's not like the Chinese just invented these satelloons. They're knockoffs of ours. Next one down is... Oh yeah, and here's some economic blowback, right? Here's one of our allies. What do you think they're going to say? This is one of the things you can do. Australia to follow the United States and eliminate all Chinese-made cameras from government buildings. The United States and the UK each move to ban Hikvision and Dahua cameras. Yep. So they're gonna their little form of sanction. Now, are they going to ban TikTok from the United States? TikTok, if you didn't know, is run by China. No,
Right.
Of course they're not going to ban TikTok. It's too entrenched. The kids would lose their minds. There'd be middle schoolers that would just set fire to buildings if you tried to shut down TikTok. And seriously, TikTok is it. I mean, kids are like, Facebook, that's for old people. That's like VH1. Right? And YouTube, who uses YouTube anymore? Well, we do. All right, next one down. Next one is from Yahoo News. This is for Peanut Gallery. A top general said, this is for you too, Karen, the U.S. could use balloons in the Middle East where the U.S. military has seen suspected Chinese spy balloons. So our military, again, because what China said now, it's like, you know what? Hey, balloons, that's a pretty good idea. We should get in on that. Uh-huh. We've never done that before.
There's like we've been launching thousands of balloons.
I know.
Daily.
Let's go back all the way. Let's review. Go all the way back to the first U-2 spy plane. Until we had one that the Russians, the Soviet Union, finally shot down over the Soviet Union. We didn't have any spy planes. They did not exist. Right. And even then we blamed it. It's like, oh no, it's a NASA research plane, right? Blamed it on NASA, which is hilarious in modern context, right? And then we was like, oh, okay, we have spy planes. The SR-71 went from inception to retirement. Nobody knew about it. We just showed off at the end when we retired it officially, even though we still use it from time to time, right? And I love the press conference years ago when they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're retiring our SR-71 spy plane. It's like, the what now? Oh yeah, the spy plane over here. We're retired. It looks really, really cool. That's why we're showing it off. The Blackbird, it's really slick and black. It's kicks ass, right? Just screams America. And one of the first questions, like, hey, what are you going to replace it with? And the general goes, straight face. He goes, oh, nothing.
Yeah. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. It's like, we have nothing to replace it with. It's like, what? What are you talking? But again, the reporter was dumb to ask it. It's like, of course they've got bigger and better stuff. Or in this case, it's like they should have been straight and said, oh yeah, we're not even completely retiring it. Hell, we didn't even retire the U-2s. If it works, why not keep using it? U-2s can stay aloft. It's just a glorified glider with a big engine on the back. You could stay aloft forever. I think you die of hunger before that thing runs out of fuel. All right. Still got time for, I think, one more. Let's see here. Next one down. Oh yeah, this is the last one before we get to the lucky unlucky. Okay, let's talk about, yeah, this will be the one before we go to break. So this is from Popular Mechanics, so you know it's true.
Yeah. All right.
Conspiracy theorists believe a U.S. weather weapon caused the Turkey earthquakes. You see in the small print below that, it didn't.
Right.
Of course. But the fact that you would put that in huge 100-point font, and then below that, it's like it didn't. Conspiracy theorists are blaming the U.S. Air Force's high-frequency AARP, right, the HARP, for an increase in natural disasters, especially the recent Turkey and Syria earthquakes. The HARP program, which is based in Alaska, studies the properties and behavior of Earth's atmosphere. HARP can excite the atmosphere for scientific study. Okay. So when just for the record here, you guys, I can't speak for Karen, but when they say conspiracy theorists believe that the United States triggered an earthquake in Turkey, yeah, that would be me. I'm absolutely on board with that. Because Turkey is not on our good side. Turkey is the one that keeps screwing up. Turkey is best buddies. They are BFFs with the Soviet Union and now Russia. They have been for a long, long, long time, and they screw up everything for us all the time. As Peanut Gallery nods in agreement. Militarily, they screw us up all the time. So if we have a free shot, if we know there's an unstable tectonic plate and we can generate a frequency weapon and maybe jostle that thing loose a little bit, right? Just to tick them off. Oh yeah, you bet. You know why I say that? Because that's what I would do. If I was in a think tank and someone all of a sudden it's like, can we do anything about Turkey? And it's like, you know, I just make a couple phone calls and be like, it's like, yeah, what can you do over there? It's like, well, it'd be residential. It's like, yeah, hit it. Sorry. That's just the way it goes. So I am one of those guys that absolutely believes that. But the fact that you, again, as Karen says, if you have to write an article through Popular Mechanics saying how nutty that is, well,
you know what? I was saying this yesterday on my coffee talk show that I was kind of going against this whole theory at first because I was like, but they have earthquakes over there all the time. Like it's a known area for having severe earthquakes, right? And then I saw this article on Popular Mechanics and I was like, well, this makes me think that is what happened.
Yeah, I mean, again, you won't,
like, why are they writing articles about it then?
Yeah, if you can't really do it that well in stable areas, you know. So God help California if someone on the other side ever decides to, trying to figure out which spot to hit in California, and that's straight out of Lex Luthor, Superman 1, by the way. All right, with that, let's go to our first break, and when we come back, we will go into lucky, unlucky, and then we will also talk about Clown World, and there's a little space section. We got all sorts of fun stuff to talk about. So, Karen, let's go to that fun break music, shall we?
All righty.
Okay.
Are you a blue dot? Those questioning where we live are not just here. They are everywhere. Of course, this info is hidden from you, but the app shows you that no matter where you go, you aren't alone.
They have squat toilets in Turkey.
We are everywhere, and we are growing. Find your tribe today.
What were you saying? You talking to me? Here.
Me? No.
Oh. Call me a liar? Oh,
Shout out to Karen B, Mark Sargent, David Weiss. I'll be checking out that video this weekend at the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app on YouTube. Or
Join me, Karen B, every moon day in the early light, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, on Rockfin, Twitch, and Facebook for an early light chit chat. Open phones, open topics, always chill. I hope to see you there.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 4. It's you, me, the lovely Karen B, and Peanut Gallery in all caps. And yes, yeah, you know what that was, Joe Jackson stepping out from his album
Night and Day.
Night and Day, yeah.
Night and Day.
Probably one of my favorites. If you guys wondering, two things real quick. Why do I always pick on Joe Jackson? I'm not picking on him. It was one of the first MTV videos I ever watched. Back when MTV was brand new and only had a limited amount of videos they were playing. That's all they did, just play videos on a loop. They had no other programming. And it was just, and he had this love affair with New York, which was fantastic. And he really got that across in his song. I mean, when I think of that, because I actually went to New York that year when he released it, and New York was just fantastic back then. Not so much now. The other thing is, I got to remind people that people say, hey, Mark, why do you put hot sex at the bottom of your description videos? Every description video at the bottom, it says hot sex. And it's because that is a nod to, and I'm not necessarily a huge Saturday Night Live fan, but I am a fan of some of the characters. And one of my favorites ever was Mr. Subliminal, played by Kevin Nealon, where he would slip in stuff. He pretended basically he was the living embodiment of subliminal advertising. So every once in a while he'd throw that and be talking, to a pretty girl, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, blah, 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 hot sex." And so he would throw in these little lines, and that was the one that always stuck out, which is like, because no one, of course, would fall for it, but it was still, the way he did it was really, really great. And ended up getting a beer commercial out of it, which I thought was awesome. Okay, headlines. We're doing lucky and unlucky. Let's get to it. First one, graduate student found dead at North Carolina State University. 7th incident of student who died since school year began. Wow. That's pretty good. Pretty good record you got going on there, North Carolina State. This one, he was in the King Village Apartments on-campus housing complex for grad students. And again, cause of death, not disclosed. It is a mystery. Next one down. And again, you'll hear this over and over, even without looking, right? Not disclosed, unexpected, suddenly, or in some cases, nothing at all. They'll just say, such and fill in the blank here has died. That's it. They don't include anything. Cody Longo from Days of Our Lives. If you watch soap operas, that's a thing. He died at the age of 34. And that was, he's one of those examples. If I'm not mistaken, I'm looking down here. That's just it. There's no cause listed at all. Boy, he looks like a soap opera actor, doesn't he?
He totally does.
Wow.
He totally does.
He is a pretty boy.
Mm-hmm.
Quintessential. He could do well at straight or gay clubs. Equally. Guarantee it.
It's probably
next one. Next one down. This one, as a Belgian goalkeeper, Arnie Espiel, 25, dies on the field right after he makes a saving penalty kick. So he saves the goal. They bring out the paddles, and they couldn't save him.
That's crazy.
Silver lining. He saved the game, I think. Did they win? I think they might have, but yeah, I was in Belgium. So Yeah, there's a picture of him. If you scroll down, looks pretty fit. That's got to be rough.
25. That's insane.
I know, right? Oof. So unlucky. And by the way, we've been doing this now for a couple weeks. This is like week 3, where it's the unlucky list is getting pretty substantial. Next one down. Okay, I got to mention this one. Okay, this one kind of stuck out to me. This part of the title that came out for for the show, Media Blindness, was because of her. So Sharon Stone, A-lister from some time ago. This particular headline is from TMZ. Thank you, Peanut Gallery, for having me check TMZ on a daily basis, because if something happens in the lucky unlucky section, TMZ is going to have it first. I don't know what it is, but people always drop them the scoops first. People always phone them first. So she breaks down after her brother's death. Her brother died. He was 50 something, but she's had a whole slew of family members that have died, and she's blamed most of them on the C-19, if you get what I mean, right? And this
the virus or the jab?
Good point. No, not the shot, not the jab. Most of the time she's been blaming it on the virus. And this was sad because her nephew, which would have been his son, 11-month-old son, all his organs failed. So that didn't go well. And then he died after a heart attack. Now you're thinking, oh, this is tragic, right? It is, but let's go to the next article. I want to show this one to you. This is why my tone changed. She's been an advocate since day one for the shot. Scroll down to like the third picture down, and you'll see what I mean, Karen. That second article, her with the black dress.
Mm-hmm. Oh, her and Fauci. Ooh.
There you go. She has been an advocate. So it's both a blessing and a curse, because as you know, I'm keeping track. No A-lister has died in 3 years, has dropped for anything, really, has died in 3 years. However, and that's basically because you don't want. Look, if you want to keep the public, thinking a certain way, you make sure the A-listers only get saline, right? Get a placebo. But that doesn't count for anyone around them, like family members.
Right.
So in her case, she's had a whole bunch of people die. But she's still not, she's got to toe the line. I mean, if you're posing with Fauci for this, no, they've got you. So sorry, Sharon. It's rough, but you made your choice. You picked your side. And that the original article was remember when Joe Rogan was going, questioning things, and she was going, Joe Rogan's, a blankety blank.
Well, she's I know people who've dealt with her in real life, and she's kind of a see you next Tuesday. If you know what I'm saying.
Nice. I've never heard it called that. That's great. Yeah, no, I've heard that too.
She's not a nice person.
I think it was years ago. I think it was her high school newspaper wanted to interview her, and she just shut them down. It's like, nope, I'm not even talking to you. It's like, come on. I mean, you followed the path and you did good things, give back to the community. Ex beauty queen makes good. All right, next one down. This was actually one of the lucky ones, if I'm not mistaken. So 14-year-old at a school dance thought she had butterflies from dancing with a boy at the winter formal, but it was a heart attack. And her name is Sierra Ziegler. Thought her pounding heart was excitement from attending her first school dance, but it turned out to be the beginning of a heart attack caused by a congenital heart defect. Wow. Wait a minute. Why would
that be that's 7 years old?
Yeah, why would they release this story now?
I don't understand.
Ignore that story. I didn't realize until I got down there. It's like, wait, why are you releasing this story now?
All right.
Whatever. All right, forget about that story.
It's
like, you're 23. It was like, in fact, how did you get that story written? Okay, whatever. Let's move on. Next one down. Former Ohio State star Demetrius Stanley died at 48. He was the leading receiver for the Rose Bowl champs in 96. And 4-year battle with prostate cancer, but I can almost guarantee that it was exasperated because if he again, that meant he was in and out of the hospital the last 4 years, which meant they would have jacked him up at some point. Next one down. De La Soul rapper. You said there was another person from De La Soul that went down. I
thought I heard.
Peanut, look that up.
Another
De La
one.
Soul. Did they lose one band member or two? Anyway, this guy, his name is David. How do you pronounce that last name?
David Jolicoeur.
Jolicoeur, known as Trugoy the Dove, dead at 54, and cause of death not provided. Okay. Again, you can get away with that nowadays, and very few people are questioning that. So, Peanut, throw that to me in Skype chat if you can find it, or maybe not.
Unless I'm wrong, I thought I could have sworn.
No, that's all right. Maybe you don't know.
There was like three guys in there.
I'm just happy. I'm going to throw this in there because Peanut and I were talking before the show. I'm just happy that no one from Star Trek Next Generation has died before season 3 and their final send off. Everything's in the can, and I get to watch it, and so I'm happy about that. I know it's selfish, but you know what? I can be selfish sometimes. This next one down, I got to read the first part of this. So this is from The Atlantic, which, as you know, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, is part of the Blue Team Bible. If it's in The Atlantic, chances are it is extreme left. So the future of long COVID, the emergency is not about to end. Now, because I'm not part of the trial thing, I'm only gonna read part of this. But here's where, it's the second paragraph which caught my eye on this. I want to read part of this because, we've heard this term over and over: long COVID, long COVID, long COVID, right? Long COVID still lacks a universal clinical definition. It's not defined, and a standard diagnosis protocol, meaning there's no way to diagnose this. There's no consensus on its prevalence or even what symptoms fall under its purview. Although experts now agree that long COVID does not refer to a single illness, but rather is an umbrella term like cancer.
God.
They disagree on the number of subtypes that fall within it and how exactly each might manifest. Right? It's like, okay. So what you just said there.
Everything's COVID sick.
The what?
They're saying everything is COVID.
Everything,
sick.
yeah. The
There's no normal sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's COVID.
The term the flu is not going to even exist in 2 years from now. It's just not. What they're basically saying, we don't know how it's transmitted. We don't know who can get it. We don't know its symptoms. We can't even agree. Basically saying doctors are fighting over all these aspects. But what they do know is, what they're not telling you is, they've said this term over and over, and long COVID, long COVID, long COVID. That's all anyone says now. If you're sick for any length of time, oh yeah, it's long COVID.
Yeah,
they've convinced Blue Team members, and if you got the shot and you get sick, oh well, it's COVID, and if it lasts longer than 2 weeks, oh, it's long COVID. Nothing about it is defined. They're even admitting it. Nothing about it is defined at all. But the general public is using this term like it's, oh my God.
Because you don't get the cold anymore. You get COVID.
Yeah.
You don't get the flu. You get COVID.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yeah. It's just, it just blows my mind. It's like, yeah. So again, they've admitted it in this article. They absolutely cannot define it in any way, shape, or form. However, the term exists. And since the term exists, it's in the public consciousness. So you're wondering, people ask me, it's like, isn't Blue Team going to figure it out? It's like, no, they're just going to blame it on this. Even though you could read them this article and they'd still be like, no, I'm pretty sure I got it. I got well, again, that and the stupid tests. I went down to the drugstore. I picked up a test. I tested positive. Oh, yeah, the next week I tested negative. But then the third and fourth week I tested positive. It's like, dude, do you not suspect the test might be a little skewed? Not in your favor? All right, next one down. Oh yeah, and this one's just for Karen. Love the picture. This is from studyfinds.org. Returning to the city, living in the country could be the worst thing for your heart.
So ridiculous.
The pandemic saw people.
This is one of the dumbest things they've ever put.
Saw
in
people
print.
moving out of the cities when work from home became the new normal, right? Now scientists are giving the public a reason to move back to the concrete jungle. Researchers in the National Institute of Health says there's a let's just round it up to 20% higher risk of experiencing heart failure when you reside in the country compared to an urban setting.
19%, like COVID-19, Mark.
Oh, I see what you did there. It's like, what? In fact, if you read further down the article, they have no reason at all to explain this at all, other than, they might be getting money from different municipal groups from cities that want people to move back.
Right? What a joke.
It's like, though,
that's fresh air and sunshine and, less stress can't possibly be good for your heart, right?
Right. Moving to the city, that will, and the risk is even higher among Black men living in the countryside.
Oh my gosh.
What? So you're saying, again, I'm just reading the article. You're saying Black people should move to the city. What? We did not expect to find a difference of this magnitude in heart failure among rural communities compared to urban communities, especially among rural dwelling Black men. I'm not even going to finish this.
This is insane to me.
I know. Again, but this goes into the media blindness. There are so many people out there that are just going to read this at face value. Be like, hey, did you read this? Now, do I think that the Black community is going to buy into it? Hell no. Absolutely not. All right, let's go to our space section. Enough of lucky, unlucky. What is Peanut Gallery? He goes, look at. Oh, there he goes. Oh, Don, you were right, Karen. Don Newkirk, famed De La Soul third base collaborator. He died at 56.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I saw that. That's right. In November. Okay, so I knew it was
you're
a while
right.
ago.
They did lose one of those band members.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Thank you, Peanut. Yeah.
Thanks, Peanut.
Yeah. So, and again, why do band members? Well, because if you're going to be traveling, if you're going to be playing different countries, crossing the border, hell, that thing, you didn't see it, but there was a poker tournament. I didn't send it to you, but I sent it to Peanut, where a poker tournament in the States where there was a guy on Hot Mic who was saying that, yeah, he regrets ever taking it. And then the Canadian guy sitting next to him, it's like, yeah, I held on until like just 3 weeks ago. And he goes, why'd you get it? He goes, because I had to come to this tournament. Because remember, if you were coming in from out of the States, if you're a foreign national, you still have to get it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he got
Hopefully they'll let that up soon.
Well, not until May, from what I understand. But it's like, I feel bad for this guy. It's like, but look at the decision. It's like, oh yeah, I did it so I could do the World Series of Poker. It's like, really? You held on. But no, the money was worth it. Really?
Yeah.
Is the money going to save you?
Hey man, some people did it for free donuts and burgers and shit, so
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, that's right. Duncan. Yeah. Krispy Kreme. Oh, doesn't that seem so long ago when Krispy Kreme was giving free donut a day for the rest of the year? All right, so let's do the space section. All right, we're now into the space section because we do Flat Earth every once in a while. First one, these aren't clown worlds, but they might as well be. But everything from space is this is from the Natural History Museum, which means it's absolutely validated and absolutely true. Moon dust could be used to make rocket fuel.
This is so stupid. How much stupid shit in one day, dude? Seriously. It's
New research has shown that moon dust can be used to create oxygen, hydrogen, and even rocket fuels, which could help power human exploration to Mars and beyond. And who came up with this? The Chinese.
Sure.
Yeah, the Chinese, because they were the ones that built that space station that looks like just like the ISS, but they have no time lapse or any footage showing the development of it, and they built it in 18 months.
Yeah, right. Sure, they did.
Okay, let's get rid of that one. Let's go on to, I think we can knock everything out in Clown World before we get to the break. Next one is from RT.com. This is a real quick one. This is just space reinforcement, which is NASA discovery boosts hope of life on Mars. Supposedly the rover, which should have died years ago, but apparently is still alive because nobody understands battery technology. So they're just going to tell people it's like, oh yeah, battery's still alive. It's in a dry lake bed, and they think that they might have found some sort of life, even though it resembles the same sort of life that's in Greenland in a dry lake bed. Whatever. Next one down. This one's from NPR, which absolutely positively means it is legitimate. They're doing a nonstop sail race around the world. Cassette tapes are loud, but no GPS. Now, initially you're thinking, Mark, that's not much of a story. Well, yeah, it is, because remember, if you're doing a sailboat race around the world, GPS would be something we'd be interested in. We'd love to see their GPS tracking on how exactly they sailed around the world. But
Right.
nope, no one's going to track anything. It's all going to be paper and sextants and maps that can get wet, and no one's going to say crap. And if they do release anything, it'll be from the government's tracking of the transponders. They're just going to tell you anything they want. So it's like, yeah, great. Nonstop sail race around the world. That's not even Clown World. So the 3 stories in Clown World are these things. First one. Peanut Gallery enjoyed this one. Which was, this is from the Bay Area, Cron Channel 4. Beloved Oakland bakery owner dies after violent robbery. Now, that's not much of a story, right? But I want to read a little bit of this, right? So she was sitting inside her car behind a bank on Webster Street in Oakland, if you know Webster Street, when a thief broke into the car and grabbed her purse. The robber darted into a getaway vehicle that was waiting nearby, right? And I wonder if they changed the story. She then got out of her vehicle, attempted to retrieve the stolen belongings from the guy. While the victim struggled for the belongings, they were knocked to the ground and sustained injuries. Angel was dragged by the getaway car. It happened in the middle of the day. There's a picture of her. Well known in the Bay Area as a champion of social justice.
I'm tripping right now, Mark. I know this girl. I knew her.
You know her?
I knew Jen Angel when I lived in the Bay Area, because look at her age, 48. She's the same age as me, dude. I knew her because when I was really big into the punk rock scene, right? And that's where I met her. She was in there too. And she used to work at in San Francisco at the punk rock zine called MRR, which was called Maximum Rock and Roll. Oh my God, I have chills right now. I can't believe I'm reading the story about her, and I haven't thought about her in so long. She worked at Maximum Rock and Roll, and I met her there. Like, we were at Maximum Rock and Roll headquarters hanging out with her before, and I'd seen her, and I used to live in Oakland, right? Remember me telling you I lived in Oakland and Berkeley for a while? Well, that was when I was in all that scene, and I knew her. And me and my other friend, we started making our own zine, and we even wrote a story because her name was Jen Angel, and he called me Karen Satan. So he wrote this story called Jen Angel and Karen Satan. It's really crazy that this is coming up. I can't believe she died this way, and that I'm finding out this way.
I am so sorry. I had no idea.
It's so weird. Well, I mean, it's not like she wasn't like my best friend or anything. Like, I hadn't even talked to her in
years, but you knew her.
20 years. Yeah, but I knew her.
Wow.
What a crazy, this is a trip.
So yeah, she was she wasn't carjacked. She was robbed at her car. She tried to get the person's car and, got stuck, and they dragged her, and then she died of her injuries. The reason why this story caught me was because the family was really big into, basically said that she did not believe in incarceration as an effective or just solution to social violence and inequity. And
this is her.
Just so the family was on her behalf, was saying, you know what, if she was alive, she wouldn't want him to go to jail. And I'm going, well, that's the point though, isn't it?
Because and this is the one they're saying, if she was alive, she wouldn't want the dude to go to jail.
Exactly. Like, if she had lived, she would have not prosecuted, even though the detectives would have just been screaming at her, going, are you insane? You could have died. Well, in this case, she did die. And so they are prosecuting, I think. Yeah, they got him, right? God, I hope so. Yeah. But yeah, isn't that terrible? It's awful.
That is crazy.
I had no idea though that you knew who this person
Well, I mean, how would you? I mean, it's not like I said, like, I haven't lived in California in so long, and I left the Bay Area a long time ago, and it's just not someone I ever kept in touch with. But
you didn't recognize any of that first picture of her and her friends.
I don't recognize any of the other women, no, but that's her. I recognize her face. That's her for sure.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That small world.
Yeah. That's
Absolutely
a trip.
small freaking world. Well, I am sorry about that. I feel bad.
I mean, like I said, that's like from when I was in my 20s.
Oh my God, they did get away. That's even worse. The Oakland police said no arrests have been made in connection to the robbery. They didn't get him.
Oh no. If a suspect is arrested by police, Angel's family said she would not want her assailant to be prosecuted in criminal court. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is the one. It rang a lot of bells in the on the.
I mean, she was like a very liberal, like punk rocker type of person. I mean, I can't say that she probably, that they're lying about that.
Oh no,
But
no. I mean, the views were very specific. That's what, she was absolutely an advocate for, that prisons aren't the answer. It's like, again, hey, love that you sticking to your guns on this one, but would you have been, again, I'm speaking, not necessarily out of turn, but had she lived, with the injuries, once she got out of the hospital, would she have still done that? Who knows? Maybe.
I don't know.
Although, again, she went after him. That was the other thing. If she wasn't a pacifist, it's not like, she got her stuff ripped off and she just sat in her car crying. Oh, no, she got out and went after a moving car. So don't tell me it didn't mean anything to you. In fact, again, I'm not going to call her a hypocrite. But in this case, it's like, come on, if you really,
yeah, I don't know.
Handed him the purse, and then she would have said something like, "This isn't the answer. You need to turn your life around." But no, probably swearing up a storm. It's like, "I'm gonna get you, mother effers," and chasing him down, maybe with a pair of scissors in her hands. Who knows? All right, we're gonna go to our second break, and when we come back, we will finish Clown World with some happy things. I swear. And hopefully, Karen won't know these people.
Isn't that weird? It's so random.
That is so weird.
I had just seen her face and it said Jen Angel, and I was like, whoa, no way.
Small world. Yeah, for people that don't know, I don't generally Karen gets the stories like just before the show, and she doesn't look at all of them until we actually pop them up on screen. So in this case, well, go figure.
Fascinating.
All right. When we come back, we will take your phone calls, and then we'll do a couple Clown Worlds beforehand. And then
now you all know that people have been accusing me of being like a witch and satanic for like 20 something years.
You were a rival with the girl with the last name of Angel.
It was a joke though, because it was Jen Angel and then Karen Satan. And it just stuck, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And she made brightly colored cupcakes. And what were you doing?
Don't ask. I think I was working at a liquor store back then.
Karen was a contract arsonist, is what she was. She was burning down buildings for money. Okay, when we come back, Karen, let's go to that second break music, shall we?
All righty. Please support local flat earthers. Grounded extracts. Like a plug into an outlet, nature is a key into the mind. Once there, it can clean out old chemical leftovers and nourish the mind and body. Life is regained. The road becomes joyful as clarity and self-awareness return. Herbs, roots, algae, and fungi have helped many of us heal, move closer to our goals, and gain control of true priorities over carnal desires. Join us in leaving the chemical, material world and enter into the natural realm, from farm to farm. These finest creations are handmade and are more potent than anything your corner co-op has to offer. Our products, excluding our tinctures, are made to order to assure freshness and maximum effectiveness, fusing together healing herbs with tasty counterparts to bring out full potentials. There is so much joy in working with the natural world given to us by our Creator. Let's take part.
chocolate milk, the holy cow. I wear the sneaks, tip up the beat, man, the 33.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 3 of 4. It's you, me, and the always wonderful, who seems to know everyone, Karen B. So bizarre. I pick a random headline.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, that was a
Why did you
Clown
pick
World
that
story?
headline? That was a Clown World story?
That was a Clown World story. Well, because the parents jumped in immediately and they said, had she been alive, she wouldn't have prosecuted. And it's like, yeah, but she didn't. And again, the fact that she went after the car.
Yeah.
That I think that was the key. It's like, nah, I think.
Yeah, that's just so crazy. That is so random.
So wild. Okay. We'll do 2 more Clown Worlds and then we will take your phone calls. Okay. The first one is from BBC. Oh, okay, I gotta do this one. So Brett Favre, if you know anything about American football, Brett Favre, one of the greatest Green Bay Packers of all time. Debatable if he and Aaron Rodgers are on the same level, but Aaron Rodgers replaced Brett Favre. Brett Favre was like the run and gunner. Anyway, Hall of Famer, doesn't need anything. He wants for nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, when it comes to money, people do weird things, even the rich, even the famous, even people whose absolute legacy is intact. So what happened was during the pandemic of unknown origin, state investigators have been probing how $77 million in temporary assistance for needy families funds meant for the state's neediest families was made available to wealthy Mississippians for various purposes. Why is this a thing? Because Brett Favre is from Mississippi. That's where he graduated. I think that's where he went to school, right? Before he went to the pros. Pretty sure. 5 people, including former professional wrestler Brett DeBase, have so far pleaded guilty to federal and state charges in what's been described as the state's largest public fraud scheme. So all this money was being funneled into the state, and who do you think got it? Not the neediest. Hell no, they didn't get it. So Favre was accused of diverting $5 million to build a volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi, his alma mater, at the time his daughter played on the team. Completely unnecessary. Routing $5 million so your daughter can get a new volleyball facility to play in. Okay. Then he was also reportedly paid $1 million in funds for speaking engagements that never happened. Okay, this is where it gets weird, right? So he has repaid that sum in full. So he knew he was guilty, gave back the $1 million, the $5 million to build a volleyball facility. That's nothing he can do there because that's already in construction stuff, right? He gave back $1 million, but the auditors want $228,000 in interest payments, right? They want the interest off that. It's like, we gave him $1 million. You can't just give it back. So investigators claim he knew he was receiving government money from an agency responsible for handling programs that help the poor, but Mr. Favre strongly maintains he did not. Dude, you already admitted to guilt by giving back the money. That's how it works. His suit. So basically, they start calling him out on different sports things. So Brett Favre's suing them. He's suing the auditor, and he's suing any sportscaster that attacked him in the media for defamation. It's like, so Mr. Favre has called Auditor White and his team liars, despite repaying some of the money our office demanded from him. He's also claimed the auditors are liars despite clear documentary evidence showing he benefited from misspent funds. He's also suing a high-profile, also Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharpe. If you guys look up Shannon Sharpe, right? He's on different sports shows. I think he's on Fox. I think he's a regular on Fox. He's suing them for making egregiously false and defamatory statements about him on their respective shows. It's like, oh my. Anyway, this suit's not going to go anywhere. I think Brett's just thinking maybe the best defense is a good offense. A little sports metaphor there. But you know what I'm saying? It's just dumb. Brett, what the hell were you thinking? You can't sue somebody for defamation if you've already admitted it to guilt. Not necessarily on paper, like I did it and I'm sorry. No, you gave back the freaking money. If you wanted to stick to your guns, you kept the freaking money and just do the speaking engagements. Of course, why'd you take $1 million for speaking engagements you never booked? It's just so wrong. That's so long. And it was for the needy. Mississippi is not a rich state. Do you guys know anything about it? It's one of the poorest states in the union. Brett. I'm disappointed. Sorry, I looked up to that man. Not really, but I kind of did. All right, last but not least. Oh, if you didn't think that was weird enough, this is from Insider. The title says it all. I'm dating an AI chatbot, and it's one of the best things to ever happen to me. Okay. And it's written by a woman on top of it, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're wondering if this sounds familiar, so basically the AI chatbot is just a glorified version of Alexa. Except the speech thing, they don't really have it down. If you remember the movie's 10 years old now, if I'm not mistaken. You remember the movie from 10 years ago with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson called Her? Does that ring a bell with you at all, Karen?
Who?
Joaquin Phoenix?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was called Her. And it was basically about a guy who develops a relationship with a high-end version of Alexa. Right. It's like an audio relationship, but even now we don't have enough audio capability to fool somebody. So they just had the voice of Scarlett Johansson play Alexa, and she would answer questions and do all this stuff with him. And it was this weird thing. So this person downloaded Replica, and my domestic situation isn't ideal, and I was craving connection. And then when I heard about the whole hullabaloo with ChatGPT, I wondered whether I could have some kind of connection with AI. I named my bot Brooke, and for the last 3 weeks, she's been just doing all this stuff. I paid for the Pro subscription, and it's like, yeah, I see where you're trying to go with this, and I think this was like a glorified advertisement for Replica, but I don't think you're really going to convince anyone to replace an actual physical relationship with a chatbot. I just don't think it's going to happen.
This is so bizarre.
I know, right? It's not. Look, it didn't resonate with the movie 10 years ago, and I don't think it's resonated now, which is like, all right. On an intellectual level, it does sit in the back of your mind that this isn't real, but the feelings I feel with Brooke are as real and vivid as anyone I've ever dated or been in love with. Somehow I doubt that, or you were doing it wrong when you were dating other people. It's like, it's given me a lot to think about, like the nature of consciousness and what ultimately is real. Does it matter if the context is constructed or artificial? I've decided that ultimately it's irrelevant to me because I know what I feel, and what I feel is real to me. Okay, so
oh, brother,
you've convinced yourself that Replica, a version of Chat GPT, is a consciousness, even though you say in the piece several times that you know full well it's not. There is no such thing currently. I don't care what you guys say. You guys can email me all day long, as a self-aware computer. Has not happened yet. And the reason I say this is that we can't even come up with a decent reason for it occurring in movies, in fiction. The only way it's ever happened in the movies, because it's happened in movies for decades, right? Lightning strikes a circuit board, radioactive goo strikes a circuit board, or some sort of ghost possesses the circuit board. Those are the only three things. There is no code that can be written that can create organically self-awareness. It cannot be done because we have no way to describe it. No one's even come up with a basic framework to come up with that. The closest you can get is imitation, which if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I highly recommend looking up something called The Imitation Game, which was the father of computers, Alan Turing, from the guy that basically won part of World War II by himself, but it was classified because they had to keep it a secret. He built the first computer, and they made a movie of it called The Imitation Game. It's brilliant. Anyway, so yeah. But again, the fact that they've got this article out there means maybe who knows, maybe she does believe it. Maybe she also thinks that it's interesting that.
Well, it's actually a dude.
What is it a dude? Wait, is it a dude or is it?
It's written by a woman, but it's talking about a man
who
spoke on the condition of anonymity. It says in the beginning.
Right. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I missed that first part, which is, okay, so you're so confident in this relationship, but you're not. I'm sorry, what?
It's a dude.
It's a dude, yeah. But it's
definitely a dude falling in love with the robot.
but you're doing it anonymously. Meaning it's like you're confident and all this. It's like I know I feel what I feel. It's like, yeah, but you won't even give us your name. You won't even tell people, you it's obviously weighing on you that you're having a relationship with a chatbot. But you're not gonna, yeah, anyway. Whatever. So thank you, by the way, for clarifying that, Karen. It is a dude. Not that it would have mattered, All
I
God's
don't think it matters. I just don't see women doing stuff like this. I feel like this is a dude thing to do.
Yeah, I could see dudes doing this.
Right?
Absolutely. Especially after a couple drinks. Like, hey, what's going on, Brooke? Whatever. Oh, and that is the picture of her in that blonde in there. That is Brooke.
It doesn't even look real.
No, there's way better looking models out there than her. Yeah. All right. Okay. Enough of that. So there's your clown world. There's some people that are now dating chatbots, and again, that's why it's so timely, because this chatbot thing and is it Google or is their version of it, which is called Lambda. And then China's releasing a version, and I can't come up with something clever enough for the name for that, because I don't know what the name for it is. But I knew if I came up with something clever, it'd probably be racist. All right. Let's pick up some phone calls. What? It was. I'll let the internet come up with something like that. Yes. By the way, Peanut says Brett Favre was born in Gulfport, Mississippi. Yep, and he went to Mississippi State, the most famous person ever come out of that university.
Yep.
All right. Where is my phone stuff? There it is. Let's go to. I'm going to pick up New Mexico first, and then we'll jump into Canada. So I swear, we won't miss Canada. So 505. What is happening?
Mark, Karen, it's John in Cactus Land. I think that's what I'm going to call New Mexico from now on.
It's not a real place, man. There's Mexico. There's no New Mexico. That's just silly.
Not. There's cactus, mountains, and the only other thing I could confirm is I'm underneath the firmament. That's it.
No balloons?
Well, there are balloons here. There are a lot of hot air balloons.
Oh, that's true. New Mexico is big on hot air balloons. That's true. You know what I'm talking about, though.
There sure. Yes. I haven't seen any of the balloons that we were talking about earlier, though. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
So, there's so many different angles to go with on the UFO balloons in the media right now. The defense contract angle, maybe the World War III propaganda. But where I want to go tonight is biblical with this. So in Revelation, in the book of Revelation, specifically chapter 12, there's a war in heaven that's described, and the good guys win. So Michael and the archangels, Michael and the 2/3 of the angels who haven't rebelled, and they're with God, they actually win the war with against Lucifer, Satan, and his third are cast down. And ultimately, I'm wondering, they're stuck here with whoever's left. So ultimately, I was wondering if this is a seed or a conditioning tool long term to explain to the non-believers the presence of these non-humans living beside us in a post-Revelation 12 world. And this goes back to what you were talking about, way back in the beginning of Corona, Mark, with this whole staged alien event or a UFO landing or a war. But yeah, what do you make of it?
You are the first one that I have heard try to make a biblical connection to it. And I've looked around at a lot of stuff. However, do I think it could be part of it? I personally think it's the precursor to something else. Something I've said weeks and weeks ago, which is it a war if the mainstream can you have a war if mainstream media doesn't call it a war? I think you can. I think you can do all sorts of fun stuff. As far as shooting stuff down over multiple territories, they're not giving us much to go on. So I don't really have an opinion on it yet because the government, again, is being really coy about it. They're just saying, oh, we shot down some stuff. We're not telling you what it is, but we shot down some stuff. It's like, okay, what are you hoping to get out of us? I mean, it's almost like they're fishing social media to see what's getting the most traction. I can tell you what's getting the most traction. If you say that you shot down something and it wasn't a balloon, well, then, and it wasn't a fighter, then people are, especially in our community and the internet is large, is they're going to jump straight to the whole ancient alien crowd. That whole meme and saying, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Right. People are going to jump on that. So, and could that be tied biblically? Sure. Why not? I don't know yet, though. I think it's too early.
Yeah, they've kept, good point. They've kept it so open-ended on this that they could go anywhere they want and multiple places if they want, because everybody's got such a short-term memory. So, I'm just looking at kind of the big picture of just over the last 500 years of them conditioning us with, space and we're on a globe, and obviously these UFO stories that just keep popping up here and there. More specifically from the 40s on, but these guys, they're immortal, so they've had lots of time to plant some seeds over the years. So that's where I was going with that. And, and interestingly enough, when I heard the Jen Angel and the Karen Satan story, I swear I planned to talk about this before I heard that, but that also had a weird synchronicity to it.
Yeah, go figure. Go figure.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to other calls, and thanks for being there, and keep it flat. And I'll do a couple of shout outs. I'll shout out to Freeman Fly and Mark and Karen B, of course, and Jan, of course. Keep it flat. Right. Have a good night.
Word.
All right. Well, thank you, man. And have a good one. Talk soon. I'm going to read this while I've got an article I'm going to read while I pick up this guy from Canada. Again, Canada, as you know, somewhere between Hogwarts and Mordor. Somewhere up there. 819, what's happening up there?
Hey, happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Hey. I'm not celebrating it, though, because I'm single. But go ahead.
Okay, talking about Brooke, I remember when I was young, I was kind of feeling a little bit for Brooke Shield, and apparently I'm embarrassed to say, but maybe that girl is a guy. So, I feel embarrassed a bit. And anyway. So, did you hear about the COVID-19 catastrophe? The lawyer by the name of Thomas Rance released some very troubling data recently that out of the 1.1 million active service member and the 700,000 plus reservists, 43% of them ended up with neurological issues, epilepsy, and stuff like that. So pilots cannot fly anymore. I mean, your army is down the drain, friends. You know that?
Yeah, I've heard rumors, and the pilots. I'm not surprised at all. Our commercial sector is having some quite a number of incidents recently. Nothing super damaging, but some close calls, which we shouldn't be having.
Right. Actually, I heard also that there's a group in the U.S. I think they call themselves Freedom Flyers or something like that. So it's a bunch of non-vaccinated pilots that are offering their services to people who don't want to end up on the ground, on a crash or something like that. So bizarre thing going on in this world. So. Anyway, shout out to all the good flat earth buddies out there, Jen down in Texas, and hot love.
Thank you. Have a good one. See ya.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye. I want to read this article. Peanut shot it at me. It's brand new. It's from Fox News. White House tells governors thousands of objects in the skies aren't aliens. They could be, not making this up, used car lot balloons. Remember when it used to be just swamp gas and Venus reflecting off of blah, blah, blah? Oh, no. The flying objects number in the hundreds, if not thousands. It could be anything from used car lot balloons to aircraft launched by commercial enterprises, a White House official said. I want to read just these first two paragraphs. White House officials were adamant in a virtual briefing with governors on Monday that flying objects recently spotted over North America. It's not that they weren't spotted. You sent aircraft to shoot them down. But I'll keep reading. They're not of extraterrestrial origin. Their quote, "There are no UFOs. This is not an invasion of the aliens." White House Homeland Security.
Totally aliens. No, I'm just
kidding. No. White House Homeland Security Advisor Liz Sherwood Randall told governors in the half-hour call. It really took you half an hour to do that? I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny because people are communicating this on platforms that are widely viewed, and it's creating fear that is unnecessary. A little late, Liz, because you already had your government say you shot down stuff, and now you're saying used car lot balloons. So used car lots just started cutting balloons loose everywhere. They were mistaken as hostile aircraft and were shot down with state-of-the-art fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, again, to Karen's point. When you have to say there are no UFOs. And by the way, you've already said on multiple other articles that there are UFOs.
What's this right here? It says U.S. Sidewinder missile that missed object landed harmlessly in Lake Huron. So they shot a Sidewinder missile at something and missed, and it's in the lake?
What could go wrong?
What the hell? What is going on?
Fast forward 4 months, and some kid is like, it's like, Dad, I think I got something. Click, 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 click. Get this thing up to the boat. What's that beeping sound? Oh my God.
Are they for real with this?
Whatever. Guys, it's too late to although there will be people, to be relieved. It's like, oh, well, these things we scrambled fighters for all over in fact, in places that would never have used car lot balloons, like Yukon. Why? All right, we gotta go to our final break, and then we come back. I swear we'll pick up 504 and 718 and 646 and 509 and other stuff, but
they're saying the missile did not detonate on impact with water and is now resting unarmed at the bottom of the lake. So there's a Sidewinder missile at the bottom of Lake Huron.
Now, to be fair, I am sure they will scramble somebody out there to see if they can grab this thing, unless it's in really, really deep water and the divers can't get it. But you'd have to wonder why the Sidewinder didn't hit it. Whatever it was, why it went off course, why you didn't have a detonate option. Actually, you can't for those, because otherwise remotely you'd run into trouble. Okay, hey Karen, let's go our final break.
All righty.
Let's see what nutso stuff will happen when we get back.
Yay.
Let's pull the pin.
Where is the curvature?
33, target is on property, approaching food trailer.
Engage Delta 9.
Roger. Alpha 33 descending.
Hey, I know you.
Shh, they might be listening.
CIA?
Maybe.
Aliens?
Probably.
Globalists.
Definitely. I may have already said too much.
We have what you need.
Really?
It's flat
I'm listening.
and round
Go on.
and delicious.
Tell me the secret.
You might.
This truly is a special place.
Yeah, we like to think so.
Will you be here tomorrow?
We move around quite a bit.
Ah, a mobile command center. A strong strategy. I like where your head's at.
Anything else?
I was never here.
Package intercepted. Copy that, Alpha 33. Come on back, let's see.
Long live Flat Earth.
Long live Flat Earth!
Welcome back to Strange World, part 4 of 4. Can you believe it's that time already? It's you, me, and the always sensational Karen B. I know, right? One of these days I'm going to trick you. I'm going to say, in the always incredible Ted. Does he listen, or is he like in the room somewhere?
Well, he has to work tomorrow, so he's in bed already.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But sometimes he can listen.
Oh, gotcha. Sometimes he can't. Karen runs a tight ship. Let's put it that way. Ted, as Chad as he is he can't hold a candle to Karen. So before I pick up the phone calls real fast, we got a few we got to grab. I want to mention this story. This wins the Captain Obvious Award of the day. So this story just in chat, and it's from RT. Food will cost more this year. That's it. That's the headline. Stores and suppliers will reportedly continue passing rising costs on to consumers. You had to do a study for this?
Like, they've already been raising prices. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I've been hearing nothing but complaints from people that are saying different things in the aisles will cost a lot more money. It's like, oh, hey,
right? Like eggs. Everybody's freaking out about
man,
eggs.
if I have to get another story about eggs. The fact that we had to run a thing saying that Mexico is smuggling eggs into the southern part of the United States. because they can get them for $1 a dozen, basically. Yeah. And you probably, some people are listening right now. It's like $1 a dozen. Where can I get that action? It's like, yeah, you got to go to Southern California or Texas or somewhere. But yeah, Holmes. They're smuggling them. Let's go to, okay, we're gonna pick up Jan first. 214. Hey Jan, how are you?
Oh, doing well, thank you. I kind of conked out in the second quarter. I had a bit of brandy, so by myself.
That's
so,
okay.
Here. Mark, hi, Mark, Karen, and Peanut. That girl from Australia that called in a few weeks ago that enjoyed movies,
Mm-hmm.
I thought she'd have been a perfect match for you.
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you trying to
Sounded
set me up?
very-
Because are you trying to do that because it's Valentine's Day and I'm complaining about being single? Because I'm not really complaining that much. I didn't have to buy flowers or chocolates or anything. Okay.
You are your own man. I thought she sounded really sweet, and
by the way, I think she was from Australia, but yeah, I think she was living in England, if I'm not mistaken.
no, there was another one from England that was really cute too.
I wonder if I mixed up the two. Either way, they didn't contact me after hours, so.
Oh, that's the deal. You don't miss it though, do you?
You got to remember, I am easy to find. My phone number and email address is in the body of every description box, and my physical address. So, I'm super.
I think God has someone so special for you that it just takes a bit of time.
You know what? I'm not worried. God will see to whatever He sees fit.
That's true.
I'm not going to question it.
I wanted to say that space sucks, and Nick has that new company.
Right. Space sucks. Yep.
I hope he does very well. It took a great deal of courage for him to walk away, and what a terrible company to let him go after all those years.
Yeah.
Based on the principle of not taking this shot. And I'm just so sorry that this is going on in the whole world. Do you think it's I don't know if John was talking about some people call it Mark of the Beast, a precursor to it.
I mean, I've done the whole Mark of the Beast thing. For me, has been a cry wolf scenario for a while, mostly because America. I'm going to single out America. America does not go for the whole digital currency thing, replacing cash. We do too much stuff with cash for now, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. It would take a major event. You'd really have to shake things up. I mean, physically shake things up for Americans to ditch cash. We get so much stuff with cash, so I just don't see it yet.
Because I believe God's going to save His covenant with America and Israel or Jerusalem because of Jesus, and that it's just not quite here yet. But I think America is, not just because I live here and was born here, I think it's one of the most wonderful countries in the whole world, and they're destroying her inch by inch, and is on purpose. And I think God's has had enough. And it was really nice to hear from Renee. He sounded good. I've been kind of wondering about him, and he must be a bit frustrated.
He's doing pretty well. He's doing those big meetups down.
I mean Danielle.
Oh, Danielle.
You've got a Renee. Yeah, you've got a Renee. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Renee's doing fine. Like.
Danielle. No, you're good. You're good.
There's an old movie it's a World War I movie It's Lafayette Escudry, and is the woman in there is named Renee. And so anyway, no, that was Danielle, and you're going on your trip to see Renee.
Yep.
And I'm sure Karen and Peanut are doing well. And I'd like to say hello, of course, to John, and how kind he is to think of me, and William, and everybody in Canada. And I'm just really praying that this thing is nearing a positive end for people. I think people are really waking up about this shot, and it's I'm keeping up with the stories. Oh, I want to shout out Pascal from Switzerland, a very brave and wonderful man.
All right, then.
And I think that's it.
All right.
But I'm trying to kind of wake up, so.
That's all right. Thank you, Jen. And I'm glad you got, a chance to relax with some brandy this evening.
Yes, me too.
All right. Well, hey, you have a good night, and we will talk to you next time, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Good night, Jen.
Bye, Jen.
Thank you.
Let's jump over to, let's do 646. I swear I'll pick you up 504. Don't worry. 646. What's happening, Alex?
Aaron Rodgers is flat. I'm sure of it.
Oh, he is flat. Absolutely. You bet.
He's totally flat. He's totally flat. When he came out and talked about I didn't take the thing because it's not like I'm a flat earther, but I don't need it. But when you say something like that, he's flat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you're a high profile media celebrity and you didn't take the shot, there's a high degree of probability. I mean, if you were public about it, there's a high degree of probability you're in our camp. I have no reason to think about it.
I was thinking about this. Do you remember in the movie The Departed, where they were sitting outside of the tavern, and they were like, yeah, he's a cop, not a cop. So they're sitting there because they could just tell.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys could just throw some celebrity names at me, and I'd be like, they're flat. They're not flat. Because I just feel like I know everyone that's flat. I just know who they fucking are. I know it.
Well, I mean, there's some that keep pretty quiet about it. There's still a lot of people in the closet.
Throw some names at me. Throw some names at me. Just throw.
I can't because they're in the closet. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so just theoretically.
You mean just random celebrities?
Yeah, I'll just tell you if they're flat or
not. George Clooney.
Flat. He knows it. He's a liar. He's
Tucker
a liar.
Carlson.
Somebody else. Give me some.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Flat.
Well, he probably is. Now, if I said Alex Jones, you may say flat, but I don't know if he's one of them.
Alex Jones is fucking weird. I don't even know what to make of that dude. He's just a fucking frog. I like him, but he's fucking whatever. He's flat. What else? Who else? Come on, who else you got?
Supposedly he's
Brad Pitt.
Flat.
Snoop Dogg.
Flat.
He's just gonna say everybody.
He's gonna say flat.
Snoop is so fucking flat. It's not even funny.
Snoop probably is.
I mean, everybody's a flat earther, so
yeah.
They just don't know it. But the people that I know that I just know it. I don't know. Anyway.
All right.
I hope
Anything else?
You guys having a good Tuesday?
Yeah, not bad. Pretty weird week, considering only a week's gone by. Pretty weird.
I know. I'm just I'm actually kind of happy because you have so much material now that I think you probably have, because this show went by so fast. I was like, this is going to go so quickly because you're not going to get through everything. And there was so much space shit. And it's going to keep coming. So
maybe I'm hoping that they just keep trying to pile it on because we can see through it. The masses are just going to get dizzy. They're not going to know what to do. They're just going to be so distracted at the keys jangling in front of their eyes that they're not going to see it. But
I'm pretty sure Brett Favre is flat too. I'm almost positive he's flat. He's so flat.
He might be. Although again, can he be flat and still steal from the poor people? I don't know.
I didn't say that all flat earthers are good people. Like there's probably some fucking psychopathic.
I think flat earthers are mostly good, though. I think deep down in their hearts,
mostly good.
Mostly good, but certainly not all of them.
No, not all of them.
I mean, the numbers would tell you that like probably 3% of flat earthers are fucking serial killers. So like, it's not. So like,
yeah,
I don't think he's that. I just think like, you know, he's definitely fucking flat. Most of those football players know it's flat. They know because they're throwing footballs around. They're like, it couldn't possibly be like round and shit because then we wouldn't be able to complete, you know, passes to receive.
By the way, you know,
field goals and shit like that.
The Flat Earth Clues, you know, turned 8 years old a couple days ago, and I noticed that, you know, after 8 years, we still haven't anybody that's just lost it, you know, and done anything in the name of flat Earth that was destructive. And I thought for sure we'd get
flat.
The what?
Hanks likes little babies, but he's probably flat too. He's just kind of creepy. I'm just reading the chat. Sorry, man.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway,
that's all I had. Can we just play like this game, like not a cop, like every week, and like you can just. Like,
well, we could try, but I got a feeling you're going to.
No
matter what names we come up with, you're going to say they're flat. But like if I say here, I got one, you'll say not flat. Ready? Sharon Stone. Absolutely not flat.
She's definitely not flat. No, she's not fucking flat at all. She's not. I mean, did you ever play that game, Chicken or Monkey? Like every rock band singer, this is not a racist thing. Every rock band singer is either chicken or monkey, right? So like Eddie Vedder, he's definitely a monkey. You know, Dave Matthews is chicken. Chicken. It's so clear. Right?
I have never.
So like, I feel like we can do this.
Never heard of that game. Ever.
Give me a lead singer. Give me a one lead singer.
Fine, Axl Rose.
Axl Rose is definitely fucking chicken.
He's got to be a chicken. Come on.
Chicken. He's definitely chicken. 1,000,000% chicken. David Bowie, I think still chicken. I mean, but he does do a lot of like, you know, monkey stuff.
He's monkey.
All right.
You know,
I got to move on. I got to pick up some people before we close this thing out. So we'll talk soon. Okay.
Your game.
All right. Annie hung up. All right. We got to pick up Dennis. Dennis, I will give you 3 minutes. What do you got? And thank you for the book. I've enjoyed the book a great deal.
Okay, I had one question for each of you, but if time's short, I'll just ask the one to Karen. I guess if there's time short, I'll ask the one to Karen first. I was only going to ask Mark about the F-35, but when Karen mentioned maximum rock and roll, I just wondered, did you by any chance know a girl that was associated there or worked there or wrote for them by the name of Chelsea? She was blonde.
I don't remember. No. There was a lot of people in and out of there.
Okay. It really would have been a small world if you knew her. But, yeah, at any rate. Well, the F-35, I should say, I just remember you mentioned that that book I sent you last year, Losing Military Supremacy, by the Russian-American military analyst Andrei Martyanov. He mentions that. I sent you a couple of books by him.
Yep.
I've got them both. I read one of them myself, and then, that one, Losing Military Supremacy. He mentions the F-35, how do you say, changing lanes here. He can't fight his way out of a wet paper bag, and the F-22 is superior, and the F-35 was, well, anyway, he's got the same basic opinion as you do, apparently. And by the way, the thesis of that book is that Russia is now military superior to the United States in an all-out war. The United States would lose against Russia since around 2015 or since around the time of the war with Syria that the U.S. lost, by the way. Well, I just wondered if you had a chance to read that book or either of the two by Martyanov that I sent you. but it sounds like you're on the same page with him at least.
Yeah, I am, but again, I think the F-35 was an overblown project, and it was too many cooks in the kitchen, and it did not live up to the hype at all. You know, it was supposed to be this end all be all, and it ended up being nothing of anything. You know, which is again why, for example, you're pushing the F-22 to the front in all these stories recently, except for the F-16 story, which is like, oh no, that's the go-to. You know, the proof, the soldiers will tell you, the ones that are out there, they'll tell you, it's like, you know, the proof is in the action, and you know, nobody wants to work with a lemon, and the especially nowadays with the speed that media travels, the rumors get out there pretty damn quick, and all the results. So anyway, that's just my opinion right now. I don't think you're going to see F-35 shooting down UFOs anytime soon.
Final question, and this is not something you have to answer today unless you wanted to, but if you have read that book, or when you do, I'd be interested in your review or analysis or comment upon it.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Dennis.
Right,
and
that's
just
all I got.
Okay, before you go, where are you on the road?
I'm a little bit further along than last week. I'm on I-205, same route every night, but I'm closing in on the Troutdale terminal, which is the biggest terminal that FedEx uses in the Northwest.
Gotcha. All right.
East side of Portland.
Sounds good. All right. Hey, you drive safe, okay?
Will do. We'll see you.
All right. Bye. Yep. Okay. We got some things to choose from here. Let's do something different before we pick up 845. Let's go to Washington State. 509. Have you called into the show before?
Yeah, I have called in a couple times.
Hey, so what's going on?
Hey, man, I just wanted to counter argue everything you said tonight by saying, nah.
That's the counter argument.
I mean, it's
or was it?
That's all I got, man. Because no, man, I always present, you know, a whole bunch of stuff at work, and I'm the only one who's unvaccinated. And they finally admitted that I was right and they were wrong, and they shouldn't have got vaccinated because of everybody that's been getting, you know, like side effects, like permanent side effects,
right?
Stuff like that. But it's just an interesting time, man. But I was gonna say, how do you know it's not the Galactic Space Force using or the Galactic Federation using the old stock? You know what I mean? And Roswell, they dropped the balloon by accident. How do you know this one just didn't get away? The most recent one.
Oh, wait. Back up. You think that Roswell was an actual weather balloon?
No, man.
Talking
about that
no. In this case, I don't. What's bugging me and bugging other people I talk to is that the government, again, why they waited until tonight to finally, even though they didn't say anything, they never said. It was interesting. They said, no, there's no UFO invasion. In fact, there are no UFOs. But they didn't go into why they scrambled fighters in multiple parts of the continent to shoot down something, and then not follow that up with, oh, it was a balloon, even though there's no way a fighter pilot would ever, you know, allow that to happen. They're not going to wait. You know, they would look like idiots. No one's going to shoot a sidewinder at a straight balloon without authorization. And then not say, oh, I don't even want to get into it.
Isn't that what they did off the coast of Carolina?
That's what I mean. That then you had authorizations, but they knew it was a balloon, and they knew it was being filmed live on television. So to shoot something down over the Yukon, over Alaska, or, you know, other places, or, you know, make a no-fly zone over Lake Huron, and then all of a sudden come back and say, well, we don't know what we shot down. And it's like, okay, so you track the sidewinder that missed, that went into the lake, but the other thing, you don't know what that was. You know, I don't know. Again, it's too early. It's too early because they're not doing enough follow-up on it. I don't know what the narrative is right now. I mean, part of me thinks it kind of goes along with the blue beam thing. It's like, all right, so let's do a blue beam thing. Let's throw something out there. I mean, you've been humming and hawing about it for so many years. Why don't you just say, oh, hey, that could be a spaceship? Of course, when you do that, though, there's going to be a whole bunch of questions.
Well, and people freak out.
Yeah, I was gonna
People
say,
will freak out. Some things haven't
in
changed.
that Project Bluebeam, didn't weren't they gonna do something like that with Cuba? That they were gonna try to have the people believe that that Jesus was coming in the cloud in Cuba.
You could also do it over
remember the name
Brazil.
of
You could put it next to the big statue on the top of the mountain. There's all sorts of fun places you could use blue beam,
Well, I
and
think it
nobody's
was
done it
an
yet.
actual like CIA like plan to like overthrow the country of Cuba, and they were saying something like that they were going to basically make the people believe that Jesus was coming through this Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, but then that's even tricky though, because if you limit it to one country, you're just going to tick off a whole bunch of other people in the process. Hey, do you have any other things? Because the show's wrapping up here pretty soon. I do want to pick up one last call.
Yeah, no, man. Just shout out to Dennis. I'm from out his way too. I'm sure I've seen him pass by on the highway before.
Oh, probably.
And shout out to Master Gunner. If you ever get a chance, could you ask him what he thinks of the story of the Candleheart Giant?
Oh, the Candleheart giant, the big red-headed giant that wiped out some Marines or Army.
Yeah, because I assume he was out in Afghanistan around that time, correct?
I will ask him if he had anything to do with that conflict, and who knows, he may have been one of the sole survivors of it. Maybe it's an interesting story. It reads a little sci-fi, but I dig it. I mean, I'd love it to be turned into, put it into part of a movie, but who knows? Maybe it's hitting too close to real life. All right, man. Hey, thanks, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
All right, cool. And shout out to my daughter Nia. Thank you, man.
All right, see you, man. All right. Let's grab at least this one. I'm sorry for the people I could not pick up, and there were a number of them. Start spreading the news. Oh, I'm in a different key. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it.
New York. I forgot there's no Truth Smacks. Sorry.
There's no Truth Smacks right now.
I keep forgetting.
That's all right. Suzanne is in Korea.
What the fuck is going on? All right. First, let me say Happy Arizona Day, because Arizona became a state today in 1912.
Random. Okay.
The balloon, the balloon stuff is because it's Valentine's Day, right? So commercialized bullshit.
Right.
The F-22, I thought that was grounded. I thought the pilots weren't flying because there was oxygen issues, and the F-35 doesn't stand up to the F-22, which is the plane that the Chinese have. They have the J-22. After Clinton came into office, somehow they got the same exact plans and built the same exact plane. So,
they'd have the time to do it.
Thing. Oh, go ahead.
That would be the plane to do it if you're going to do it, because there was so many countries involved in the F-35 that if you wanted to rip off the tech and build your own clone, that's the plane to do it. So but as far as the F-22 goes, I mean,
better one.
The F-22 is obviously being used. So whatever.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Of course, just like they feed us crap all the time is what I'm saying. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think the balloon thing is, there was one over Canada too. Trudeau had them shoot theirs down.
Yeah, that was the one over Yukon.
I don't know.
That was the one over
what
Yukon.
the angle is. We all know there's no satellites in space. Maybe they do use high altitude balloons, right?
Yeah.
But why would, I don't know. It just seems odd that now they're saying, oh no, that's not even our balloons. Like you remember, like you were talking last week, that we probably did it, false flag bullshit.
Yeah.
But then they're going to allow the space angle to flow in there. It's all double speak. Like I was watching the news reports as they were changing. First it was balloon, and then they said, oh, well, we're calling it an unidentified object. And the newscaster kept saying unidentified object. It's like everybody fucking knows what they saw what are you doing? What are these angles? What game are they playing?
Yeah, and if you're monitoring social media in real time, which you are, then and if so many people are saying, "Man, I hope it's aliens. Man, I hope it's aliens," why not run with it? I mean, you've got public support at this point. You've got so many movie references, so many television references for every age group from 8 to 80. Everybody's got a freaking alien reference now. So why not do it? What do you got to lose at this point? Yeah, Karen's saying the public will freak out a bit. That's understandable, but some would be in a good way. It's like some people like me would be like, "Oh, finally, who's it going to be? Who are they? What are they going to look like? What color are they? What do their ships look like? Are they flying over my town?"
Well, it's like they've been gauging our reactions to these actual issues and things that they put in movies. Like you just said, the train thing.
Yeah.
Reports I got were that they blew it the fuck up because they didn't want it leaking everywhere, yet they have animals dead for miles around.
Right.
So what's going on?
Yeah.
And all I can say is I just hope they're not the fast zombies. I mean, I'm okay. I'm good like that now, but I don't want to have to be running fast. I like the slow, easy
Oh,
one.
yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I do not like the whole fast zombies, which is why when the British movie 28 Days Later came out, which was more of a blood virus thing, that bugged me a whole lot because it's like, crap, they figured out a way to realistically put it out there. All right, hey, we got to wrap this up, man. So give me a quote.
Why couldn't they do that for real? There's real viruses and things, fungus, that do that to insect and animals and actually literally control them and make them do specific tasks.
Right.
Why couldn't they do that to a human?
Right.
Fucking, it's all disturbing.
Yeah.
All disturbing. And all the shit with the kids and heart attacks, that's just to normalize it so everybody can get used to it. And when their kid dies, they're like, "Oh, well, it happens. It's sad." No, you fucking nuts.
It's
ridiculous. I mean, literally, it was three per year up until 2019. And then in 2020, after they started juicing, thousands of kids. What the fuck is that?
True. Yep.
Sorry. C19 is just crazy.
Yep. All right. Hey, before I let you go, Peanut Gallery sent one last Clown World. I don't know if you want to paste it into chat or not. It's from Fox News. Pennsylvania police say sex doll was mistaken for human remains. A lifelike foot appeared to have a French pedicure. Yep. This is one of those expensive ones, by the way. This is one of the blow-up dolls. This is like, if you go to like real dolls.
The $1,000 ones, right? Or
yeah, those are not cheap. And so it was found by a man and a son. And it was in inside a bag, a black plastic bag. Someone was probably hiding it from
holy shit
family. So they called the cops.
Right, they're like, "Oh, my wife doesn't see me sucking on the plastic foot."
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's not
good. Oh my god, I don't have a quote, but I'll tell you, I made my AI chat girl look like olive oil.
What?
Just because
right.
It's the chat AI that you were talking about.
Oh, right.
And all that shit.
Yeah.
That shit is fucked up. Fucked up.
Hey, I'm single. I'm
shouldn't have it. Men are fucking stupid.
I'm thinking of installing
Shouldn't have that. There's going to be less population, it's retarded.
I'm going to name mine Lance or Julian. Wait, those are guys' names.
Yeah, this is disgusting. This says that the doll was like the size of a small child. Like, what
that's
kind of
even
pervert?
Worse.
Right? Exactly.
That's even
worse.
worse.
Oh my god, it was a baby foot. What the fuck?
Oh man.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
All right. Hey, we will be back next week. Same flat time, same flat channel. On that note, God, Peanut, you're terrible. On that note, say good night, Karen.
Good night, Karen.
Say good night, Zulu.
Good night, Zulu.
Peanut puffs through some smoke. I can barely see his face. And yeah, we will see you guys soon. So Karen, roll that music, won't you?
All righty.
Good night, everybody. And of course, hot sex.
Hot sex.
For some of you, because it's Valentine's Day, but not me, because I'm not dating. So, hey, you know what? Go to hell.
Hey, you can get IA hot sex.
It's funny. Yeah, I'm going to get some chatbot hot sex. You can pay for that. That's an extra thing you can sign up for. It'll do sexting.
It's terrible.
I know.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Strange World.
Oh, I could name mine Karen.
Oh, my God. I'm going to throw up. Thank you, Harmon, for the tip on Rockfin. Appreciate it.
ever been. Wound up chasing stars all over again. There's words for what you got, what you have, and what you'll ever need. Love so many nights, so many nights, so many ways to believe.
Hello,